Right on, you finally got your door. You've been waiting for this thing for months, and it finally arrives. This giant white wrap thing is in front of you, right? So first thing, get rid of the wrapper, right? This is like Christmas. Unloading this is really straightforward and simple, and all you really need is a 3/4 inch wrench or open-end wrench and a socket, or an impact gun makes life even easier. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the 2 extension plates, and after the 2 extension plates, I'm actually gonna take the whole door off of the pallet by myself and show you how to do it. Now, if you have a buddy to help you do this, get a buddy. It's always safer to do it that way. The plates weigh about 100 pounds each. And the door is about a 700-pound door, but you're gonna see really quickly how we designed our wheel system to create a lot of safety for you personally. So first thing I'm doing is I'm pulling both the bolts, or excuse me, both the nuts off of the extension plates. Now you'll see in between the extension plates comes this little part. You may throw this away, okay? You don't have to keep this, and it doesn't stay on the extension plates because it'll be a trip hazard. Throw it away. What you don't want to throw away is these long 5.5 inch bolts. They help you attach the extension plates back to the main base plate on the doors. So we're gonna hold on to those. As you can see, the extension plates have a hole cut in one end of them. Those are actually for you to grab. So just simply pick one up at a time. If you have a buddy, you can do it together. You're just gonna pick it up, just like that, and you're gonna put it wherever you need to put it today. For right now, we're just gonna set them over here to the side. Take number 2 off. Now what you should see is your door sitting on a pallet with some 1/2 inch lag screws holding it onto the pallet. So if I move the door, the whole pallet wants to move, right? So all we're gonna do is remove those screws. Now with all the screws removed, the door is free sitting on the pallet. For me personally, I'm just gonna bring this a little bit further forward if I can. If I have my partner, obviously I'll have them help me. But I'm basically trying to get this so when I cam it, this hits the ground, okay? That's all I'm really after right now. I'm gonna buy a little bit more space on this side. There you go, that should be about good. We've got the door pulled up to the edge of the pallet and we're ready to go. We're ready to get this door off and start forcing doors, which is what you guys have been waiting for. So the first thing you're gonna do is grab somebody like Nick, right? You're gonna grab a guy next to you so that you can safely unload this and not get hurt. So what's gonna happen is me and Nick are both gonna walk up to the door. We're both gonna grab the top bar and we may foot the bottom bar, just like a ladder as we're a ladder coming down, right? We're gonna bring the ladder back nice and easy. What we're looking for it to do is to land on the bottom wheels, and when it does, it actually hits a neutral position. Now, because of the pallet lifting the other end up, it'll be a hair out of its neutral position as it normally is. So we're gonna catch it just a little bit, but I'll show you how little that is here in just a second. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, catch top. All right, so we've caught the top and we're managing it. I think Nick's holding all of it though. All right, so now it hits the wheels. So if you can let go, Nick. So you can see how little pressure it takes to hold this up. This is not difficult to hold right now, right? Nick was helping me. At this point, I could lower it all by myself, right? But it was great having Nick here, so I'm bringing Nick back. And then we're just gonna let this whole thing lower. All right, and now we're off of our pallet. So we're gonna pull the door out for a second. And we're gonna pull that pallet out of the way. So, you got your door, it's off the pallet. So now what are we gonna do? First thing we're gonna do is we are not going to throw these away. Okay, these are your crush prop straps. You do not want to throw these away. They're a phenomenal additional tool you get with this door, right? You don't just need to go out and buy another crush prop. You actually have a crush prop right here. So don't throw these away, all right? So we're gonna go ahead and remove those, and then after we remove them, we're gonna go ahead and set up your door for use, all right? When you remove your crush prop straps, don't lose the bolts. Keep them. You're gonna reuse them when you put these in on the opposite side. We'll show you how to do that later. Again, these are your crush prop straps. You don't throw them away, you save them. So set them aside somewhere that you don't lose them, and hold on to your bolts with them. Setting up your callus force entry door is really easy from this position. All we're gonna do is decide where we want it to go, and then we're gonna add our extension plates, and then we can start forcing doors. When the door is on its feet, it can be rolled easily by anyone. What I'm going to demonstrate now is how to actually put this up into position. So my goal right now is that I would want to face an inward opening door on my side, because when I put it up, it'll be an outward opening door on the opposite side. I'm simply going to grab here, I'm going to bend my knees, I'm going to lift. And you see the door sets onto the onto the monster base plate. And when it does so, it goes into a neutral position. This means that it's not falling upward or falling downward on me. It's a safety we wanted built into these to protect you guys. Once it's in this position, it's very easy to get up. All we have to do is get up underneath it. Again, bend your knees and push. As it comes into position, it'll land. It's not going to flip over. Just keeping a hand on it the whole time, and you'll be safe. Once it's in position like this, with your crush prop straps removed, we're going to add our extension plates. If you landed it and you needed to move it back a couple feet, like I'm going to demonstrate, I would just bring it back to the neutral position, drag it back to where you basically need it, and then again, push it up. Again, this is much easier with two people, but we just want to demonstrate you can safely move it with one person. Whatever your safety policy is in your department, please obey it. Like we discussed earlier in the video, you'll need to save your 5.5-inch bolts. Somewhere on your door, likely on one of your legs, you'll find 2 to 4 more of these bolts added to the system. If you have 6 bolts, that's great. That just means you got 2 spares. If you only have 4, that means you have exactly the number you need. You're going to use these on both sides of each extension plate. You need 4 minimum. And they simply go through the existing tube captures on each side. I'll demonstrate. Now with the extension plates attached, you can go ahead and force the door. What you still see on, and which we still need to remove, is our wheel system. So you're gonna need 2 people to do that at any time, just because of how awkward the system can be. So we'll go ahead and pull that off real quick right now. Again, all the bolts that you'll need are all 3/4 inch, so just a 3/4 inch driver, 3/4 inch ratchet, you'll be good to go. So the great thing about our wheel system is this crossbar. And that may not sound like much, but if you realize that we can remove this and create a center hallway evolution for our inward opening door, that's a great evolution to add to any arsenal. The simplicity of the prop is that we just unbolt the 4 bolts that mount the top and bottom bar, and once we unbolt them, we'll show you how we can just take a piece of plywood and set it up on both sides and create a center hallway. All right, now that we've taken out both of the center bars, now we can go ahead and add our plywood in. So now that we've tilted up the plywood next to our wheel system, now all we have to do is utilize the existing holes that are in the leg that was mounting the crossbar to create a hold point for the plywood. So Josh is gonna hold this. I'm just gonna drill a hole. Then once the hole is drilled, Josh is gonna take one of our bolts. He's gonna push that through there. I'm gonna secure this side. The other cool addition you can do is you see down the bottom here, we've created a smoke hole. If you have a smoke machine, you can now put a piece of plywood on both sides, throw a salvage cover over the top, and run your smoke machine and run a 0 visibility evolution with your personnel. It's a great evolution at the end of the day to show everybody how much they've learned through the process of their training. So we highly encourage you guys to do this. It's a great evolution and teaches a lot of small space forcible entry techniques. All right, now that you've got your primary wall on, go ahead and add your secondary wall here against this leg set, and then you'll be all ready for your center hallway evolution. So we're back here looking at our wheel system. Now, some really small things to keep in mind. Whenever we do our wheel system, we want to make sure we put the caster wheels on the top and the rigid wheels on the bottom. That way, when we tilt the door over, it lands on a solid platform. If we put the caster wheels on the bottom, it will side skirt and it'll feel really uncomfortable. So we highly recommend you always ensure that you have your rigid wheels on the bottom. So right now we're gonna just remove the wheel system. It just takes 4 bolts for the top and 4 bolts for the bottom, and Nick and I are gonna knock this out real quick. Now as the last bolt comes off, it'll actually become more free at this point. So once it comes off, you'll want to control it because it's kind of awkward and it's a bit heavy. But once you get it off, just go ahead and take it and set it to the side. You're going to do the exact same thing we did with the top with the bottom. So now the last thing you would do is remove all the bolts around the edge that was holding the wheel system on, and you'd be able to now start forcing your door. So now that we've taught you how to take off the wheel system, we're going to show you how to put the wheel system back in place. So I recommend typically starting with the bottom, and again, rigid wheels always go on the bottom. So we'll go ahead and first thing, we'll install all 4 of the bolts facing out. That gives us a landing point for us when we're trying to line up the wheel system. So my job right now is just to hold the wheels. Once Nick has one of the upper bolts in, very likely I can let go of the entire system because that one bolt is going to hold, but it's going to fall into the other extended bolts while we put it back together. So now I'm going to work on the other side while he finishes the right side. Make sure our 4 bolts are on the top. We're going to do the exact same process here again. One of the tricks you can do is that once you put on one side, if you get one of the upper bolts nuts put onto it, it'll help hold it up for you so it takes some of the pressure off the person holding it. Alright, so go ahead and throw the nut and bolt in on those first, Nick. So since Nick now has the nut and washer in on that side, even if I let go of this side, I'm safe, right? So this side's holding and supporting this the opposite side. We'll now line this up for Nick. Welcome. Thanks, sir. All right, so now your wheels are mounted back onto your door and you're almost ready to move it again. However, we don't move our door when the extension plates are mounted. So before moving your door, you'll want to remove both extension plates. So you want to make sure that you keep your 4 5.5-inch bolts together so we don't lose those. Those are going to be always what you mount your extension plates to your main base plate with. So now with the extension plates out of the way, we can now go ahead and lower our door. Now go breach some doors.